Married men, what is your greatest regret about marriage? Advise the single boys. It could be about anything. Never get married to a baby mama no matter how much you love her.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I was saying before, earlier? She's crazy, man.
Yeah, there's just there's a certain select few of men that just won't do it.
They just won't do it.
Yeah.
You've got to find the person.
Even some of our friends are like,
Cheer.
why are you dating a guy with kids?
Yeah, crazy. Crazy. Don't marry her out of pity and never forget rule number 5. I don't know what rule number 5 is.
I'm not
Don't marry her out of pity.
Marrying out of pity is crazy. So death do you part.
That's crazy.
Oh, pity. Crazy.
It's
For
crazy.
pity. Nah,
It's
cheer.
crazy.
Married men, what is your greatest regret about marriage? This guy said, I sit in the car for 10 minutes before I enter the house.
Okay,
but
sometimes we all sit in the car.
I sit in the car for 10 minutes.
But
I'm
I
not
feel like
dreading-
if somebody's asking you your greatest regret about marriage and they're
Yeah,
telling
that's
you
crazy. I
like, listen,
can't lie.
every time I get to the house, I'm
have to
just
sit,
thinking,
yeah.
I have to psych myself up to enter.
That is crazy.
Scary.
I've heard people say that, but not necessarily because of their partner. I've heard people say that because of kids.
Yeah, I've heard that one as well.
Good.
Crazy.
Someone said, marry a working woman, forget about the beauty. Interesting. Live with your partner for at least 3 years before considering...
3 years!
I thought you've knocked finished.
3 years! Nah, some people just push anything.
At least
3 years.
Nah.
Hey, tough crowd, boy.
3 years.
That's crazy.
No, you what?
People are taking a piss, man.
At least maybe 3 months.
Moms, I know. That's what I thought as well. Crazy.
Live with your partner for at least 3 years before considering marriage. During this time, start adulting. Learn to live with each other, then get married.
What do you guys think about moving in before you get married?
I wouldn't be doing it personally.
Nah.
You won't be doing it?
What about you?
I don't know. Because I've spoken to a lot of married people. Some people have, some people haven't. I don't know. I don't know. I'm in two minds.
Apparently, statistically, it's actually worse off.
Yeah, statistically.
Really? In terms of like divorce rate?
Yeah.
Weird. But
That's really weird.
I think
Yeah.
also, and I don't know, like, I don't know if this is true, but like when I heard that statistic, I was like, I wonder if it's because you have an option to leave. So like apparently the first year of moving in with someone anyway is just difficult, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously you've moved in, you're sharing a space, you're sharing a bed, a room, all of that kind of stuff, right? And in that first year, it's probably quite a lot of adjusting. And I guess maybe when you know that like, I'm not married to this person, I feel like there is a mindset that shifts when you're married to someone and you know that like, I'm not going to just having had a wedding and I'm married to you, just be like, oh, I hate the fact that he never puts the seat down. Like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
But I think, like, when you're in a relationship and you're like, do you know what? Like, he just
have the
does
option to
too
go.
many things. I actually
but I
can't.
thought the stat is people who cohabit before marriage are more likely to divorce than people who don't. That's
Yeah.
what the stat is.
Yeah.
So but regardless, marriage is in the, you're saying about leaving, but marriage is in the situation for both of these people.
No, but
So
what I'm
is it you're
saying is maybe it's because... Wait.
I get what she's saying. She's basically saying that the statistic actually is the people that... There's married people, some didn't move in before they got married, and some that have. But the ones that have end up in divorce more than the ones that didn't do it. But you're saying that whilst the people are cohabiting before the marriage, that they're able to just up and leave. But these ones have actually gone on to marry.
Yeah. I think what...
I feel like my point made sense, but I'm confused.
No, your point does make sense,
but it's not the stat that
It has
I
nothing
would
to do with the stat.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe the stat just made me think about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what you did say makes sense because
Okay.
if you're married versus just living together, you then have the option to be like, oh, I don't have time for this. I can leave. But when you're married, it's kind of like,
Yeah, you think twice about
you think
something.
twice about
Yeah.
something before you do
I,
it.
I think I'm trying to remember what someone said maybe the rationale could be. Sometimes it's because you've actually been fed up longer. So you've the built up frustration on things isn't just from, oh, actually because we're newly married we have to kind of work through this. It's because you've already been holding on to something for so long that you're bringing it into your marriage and it's still not fixed and you feel like marriage will fix it, but it hasn't. that's another. I think that's one of the reasons that someone said.
And also as well, I'm just thinking about it, like, if you were living with someone before, there's actually nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
That's one, obviously, apart from the whole Christian faith thing, that's another thing that I'm like, I wouldn't do it, because it's like, what are we doing? We're coming back to the same house that we've been.
Yeah.
There's nothing different. There's nothing new. There's nothing to look forward to in my eyes.
Yeah.
I
was watching
sleepovers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was watching Don't Tell My Wife podcast. That's our podcast by Junior and Ken, if you guys don't know. And they had Akin and Temi on, who are both newlyweds, and they both are men that practiced abstaining, and they were basically just talking to Junior and Ken, who hadn't, and they not even ashamed, they the pod.
Yeah, they have
but then they were just saying that actually, like, it was really, really nice in the honeymoon phase, where it really does feel like everything, like, this is a whole new experience. And God, Junior, I can't lie, our friends, you know, sometimes you have to be careful the way they phrase things on their podcast, because Junior was just like, I think Junior said, oh yeah, like, it was, maybe even when we finished the wedding, it was just like, okay, like, we didn't feel like a rush to, like, but after the wedding was done, it wasn't like, oh my God, like, we're going back on wedding night, and it's
because you already been doing
slept,
that. You did day 4.
Yeah, bruv, like, please, we just left it off, man.
Bye.
Yeah. And then like, even Junior saying that, for example,
drop your box.
Honestly, like, I've already seen this finger this morning.
Hey, but also Junior talking about like going on holidays and stuff, which obviously I've already said that I don't care for that. Like, I actually want to experience that with my partner, and I actually think it's a telling thing for me personally. But he was just saying, like, even like the honeymoon and like just going away and stuff, like, don't get it wrong, obviously it was nice, first one as a Mr. and Mrs. It does feel special, but at the same time, like, I can imagine it being a whole different level of excitement when you've actually But obviously, again, Junior's context was very different because they met very, very young and obviously had to grow up together. Whereas these people,
they met each other like way after
established.
They were established.
Exactly.
I feel like Temio, he already had his house, but
he had his house.
He had exactly
2 years before.
So he was very like, they were already in kind of like the adulting stage, whereas like Junior, they met first day of uni.
And so
it's kind of like this. It's very, very
so
different completely journey. Different.
Yeah, but I just thought it was very interesting that I think Temi was talking about, like, if you were to do it again, like, would you still very much advocate for not having sex or not living together and stuff? And he was saying absolutely, like, he just feels like the excitement that they have
that they built.
It's just like it's
very
unmatched.
Nice.
Like, it just feels really, really wholesome. But he also spoke about the, like, not the negatives, but sometimes the difficulties in that, in the sense that, for example, he, like you said, lived by himself for a bit, so he's used to like having his own space, whereas his wife comes from a household that she's lived at home throughout. She's one of the youngest, I think, of her siblings, and like she is a twin. Sorry, and she obviously moved into Temi's place, and he was saying that sometimes you don't actually speak about the whole like moving from your parents' house straight into your husband's house when you haven't had time by yourself. Like, it actually feels very like it's a big change that he said he had to like let his wife basically go through that journey, and she still very much is going through that journey.
So I want to have my own place before.
There's pros and cons to everything, which is why for me personally, like, my sweet spot is being able to practice and having that space of living by myself, which I'm currently experiencing, and like, it's a great learning experience, but also like, you are able to flex in terms of having someone come over, spend time with you, etc. And you are able to pick up small habits even in short term. Like, I know people keep on saying it's not the same when you're on holiday, or it's not this, but sometimes you can see some stuff already you can run away from.
Definitely,
and I think
definitely can
as well, like, you know, like, if you know someone's coming over, you can do a spring clean, like, even if you've got 20-minute warning, there's stuff you can chuck under.
What are you talking about?
That's why
that wardrobe just
bras have entered cabinets.
Do you remember? When I did that? Do you remember when I did that, Tammy?
Yes. You thought you were getting this content for free in this recession? Oh no. To watch the full episode, make sure you sign up with the link below.